In part 1, we're doing a drill bit examination where we're looking at the drill bit that was confiscated from the suspect and 3 marks that were taken from the scene. Our whole goal now is to actually look at the class characteristics of this drill bit and then look at the class characteristics of these marks and say whether this drill bit can be included or excluded from making any of these marks that were found at the scene. So the first thing we're going to do is just look at the drill bit itself. The first thing to remember and look at when we're looking at this drill bit is this is a standard bit. Okay, standard because it's just off like this, kind of blunt. The other type of bit that you'll see will actually have an extension off the tip, so it'll come out further and make a point. So when it drills a hole, it actually drills one circle and then almost an inner deeper circle. So that's a specialized bit. In this case, this is just a standard one. It will just do a standard hole with no two different depths, just one depth in general. The next thing we have to know, now that we know it's standard, is to actually take the diameter. So we're going to use a ruler, and I'm going to ask you, or look at and have us look at it in the metric side, even though I know that there is the English side. We're going to stay with metric here. So the best thing we can do is to actually line up, okay? Line up our marks, and we're going to line up evenly like this. Okay, so I'm starting 1 millimeter right where the edge of the mark is, and then we can count across. So we're going to do that for marks that we found at the scene A, B, and C, and then we're going to actually take the diameter of the drill bit itself. In order to take the diameter of the drill bit, there's 2 ways that we can do this. We can flip the drill bit up and actually go across like this and measure. Okay. Put the drill bit down and also set it on an edge and measure where it stops as well. So I'm going to take some photos and post the photos for you guys to actually look at so you can get a better idea of how much these are and their actual diameters. But if we're looking at the diameter of this one, going across just quickly enough, and I'll post a photo, here's where we're starting. This would be, so here between these two, this is going to be 1, and then this would be 5. So here we have 6 and a half. So we are 6.5 millimeters. That is going to be our diameter of our drill bit from the suspect. 6.5 millimeters, and it's a standard one. Those are the class characteristics of this drill bit. Standard drill bit, 6.5 centimeters. If we're now going and measuring our holes here, the big thing is we're going to look at A, B, and C of the tool marks that were left. What's interesting here is mark A. I don't know if you can fully see it, but with mark A, this is actually made by a specialized bit. It has 2 circles. So we have 1 circle and then we have an inner deeper circle. So this was definitely, we can exclude it now. This mark was not made by this drill bit. So this is excluded. This is a specialized drill bit, not made from a standard one. We are still going to measure it just to be on the safe side. So again, we're going to line up, making sure we start on a whole number, and then go across. And I will make sure that you can actually see some higher up photos here. But again, here's that 5, there would be 6, and we're between 6 and 7, so we are at 6.5. So it's the right diameter, but made by a specialized drill. So we're still going to call this one as an exclusion. If we're looking at B, so now B we're moving across, we're going to measure the diameter here. B we're starting at 2, so we can just see our full line. Here is that 5, so we've made 5, 6, 6.5. Okay, so that one potentially is better, so it matches the diameter, so 6.5, and this is actually made by a standard drill. So far, we're going to say that we can include B. So B is a possibility that was made by item 1. And then C, if we're going to measure C, C is made by a standard drill bit. If we're measuring C all the way across, in this case C, here's that 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually 8 millimeters across, so it's a little too big. So C could be excluded. Okay? So this would be part 1.